Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Let's go through the market, see what's going on. And here we are. Let me click right over, get to the heat map right now, and we'll see what's going on. The video is down, Apple is down, mixed little market right here. So let's see what's going on there. We'll go through the market real quick, see what's happening, what's going to be setting up for next week as well. So here we go. I'm just going to check out the SPY. Your Qs, they're up a little bit, not as much as they were this morning. You can see they'd run up and they kind of just leveled out a little bit today. It was kind of a flat day, to be honest with you. Nothing real crazy. Everything happened early this morning except for good old Kodak. And we did call that one in the Discord as well. So there you go. That was over $9 right there. It was pushing like 930s or something crazy there for a few minutes. So there you go with Kodak looking really good as well. ASTS right now is up, and there you go. ASTS was cruising along and not looking bad. That's another one today that hasn't been too bad. So ASTS performing pretty well. ONDS just kind of hanging out there today. So, and that Serve Robotics right there, not too bad. It ran up, and a lot of them, like I said, either ran up this morning, went flat. ASTS, one of the very few that are just like really pumping along right there from the morning dip. So looking really good right there. So let's go through, see what else is going on over here. That's your SPY, your Qs over here. Let's see what they're up to. And let's see, your Qs are up a little bit, not as much again as they were earlier, but kind of just flattened out. And I actually had them right here. I sold them. I had them at the beginning, ran them up to right here and sold them. I should have kept them to that level. That would have been really nice, but it's all good. It was still a pretty good day. I had a pretty decent amount of them, so they paid out pretty well right there. So that was the Qs, and I did that first 2-3 minutes of the day, and that was perfect right there. So I was happy with that. Let's look at our Mag 7 and see how they look this afternoon here. Apple right now pulling back. It was looking good the other day, and now you have that pullback happening. So we'll have to see how much that really wants to pull back there. Amazon kind of just hanging out there today. Google does look like it wants to curl up and roll back up, guys. I'm telling you, Google has that look like it wants to go off the MACD, roll back up into the top, and get moving again. I think I've said that the last 2 days or so. And there's Meta trying to creep back up to the 50, so not too bad there for Meta, META. And let's see what our Microsoft is doing. It's up $1. This one looks really good right here. As a matter of fact, I bet Microsoft gets popping for next week. You can keep an eye on that one for your options on there, because that is definitely getting set up, I would say. And I do like that. And let's look at NVIDIA. That one had a little bit of pullback today, but still in a good spot, curling up right there. We'll have to see if it really bounces down or if it wants to bounce up on Monday. But it's not looking bad. It's definitely getting set up, that's for sure, for NVIDIA. So keep an eye on that. You can see it's in a bullish trend. And anytime they're curling up like that, they've been going through and have been running. That one just kind of stalled out there today, but still not looking bad for NVIDIA. And of course, Tesla right here is up a little bit. It was up a little more this morning and did pull back some. So there you go with your Mag 7. I'll go right through our regular list because we do it pretty quick. And AMC right there was pulling back. GameStop was just a little bit flat. And again, I sold my options yesterday. So was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. It was when I sold them bad boys. Or was it 2 days ago now? I don't really remember, but I know I just sold them recently. So there you go with GameStop. And Chewy right there up a little bit. Nothing real crazy, but Unity's been looking good. And it does have that look like it could pull back there. It's up today. I know that. And it was running around this morning. It popped up and then pulled back a little bit. I mean, it just kind of leveled out like everything else, I guess, going into the weekend. Sometimes it is tough to tell. That's why I wanted to hop on just to look at it. And usually we hop on in the Discord and do the live trading in the afternoon, but I knew Ben wasn't going to be able to make it this afternoon. I figured, hey, let me pop on the YouTube and give you a little showing of what's going on. So if you're new, just tuning in, we usually hop on and do a lot of live trading and stuff and get ready for ER reports. Obviously, being a Friday, I figured let's break down the market here, see what's going on at the end of a Friday going into our next week and on our first week of December. How crazy, guys. 20 days till Christmas. So I hope you're going out to do your Christmas shopping, because that'll be here before you know it. That's for sure. And let's keep on cruising right through our list and see what's going on here. Netflix was down. And again, I think this is going to be a great opportunity down here. As a matter of fact, that looks like it's going to be reversing right there. And they did announce that they were going to buy out Warner Brothers. What's this even say? Netflix announces definitive $82.7 billion cash and stock acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery, including its studios and HBO Max for $27.75 per share, with 59 billion bridged financing TV networks to be spun off, with closing expected after the cable spinoff in Q3 next year, pending regulatory approvals, as Senator Warren opposes the deal and the Trump administration expresses heavy antitrust skepticism. I can't even say that word, skepticism, heightening regulatory risk. And there you go. And wow, interesting right there. So they did announce it, but will it even be able to go through is the question for Netflix to buy out Warner Brothers and take it. So what's up, Zach? How are you? And like I said, you're usually in the Discord hanging out, but now we're in here. So we're just hanging out this afternoon. I'm going to go through the market, see what's going on, and we'll see what's happening. But yeah, look at Netflix trying to buy out Warner Brothers right there. And like I keep saying, it sounds like that'll be the end of CNN. I doubt Netflix will be keeping CNN around. CNN is owned by Warner Brothers, if you check that out. So they are a subsidiary of them, or a sister company, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But yeah, I don't see Netflix keeping CNN. It just seems like it's way too many liabilities for them, and they're just not playing that game right there. So that would probably be the end of CNN if that deal goes through. I could see all them hosts having to find new jobs, that's for sure. But anyway, that's your Netflix update. And let's look at our Warner Brothers right here. It's WBD, and they said 27.75, and you're at 26. I mean, yeah, it should try to jump up a little bit, but are you going to try to get that out of it? I don't know. I mean, it does look like you would think it would already ran. It does look pretty good to try to get to that 26.78, but I'd be careful. We already know that the news is already out and everything, so you can watch that. That is your Warner Brothers right there, and your Netflix info. Here's your semiconductors, AVGO, trying to run up right there. It is curling up. Look at that bad boy, looking pretty good, curling up. But MU was up pretty good today too, as you can see, and that had that dip yesterday. And look at that thing. That looks like it wants to get moving next week. So keep an eye on MU. I thought it was going to be going down, actually. And look at that. That tricked me, that's for sure. So, yeah, we're not going down. We're going straight up. TSM looking pretty decent, hitting a little resistance, but not looking bad right there. And your SMCI has been setting up, and it is up and hitting the 20 right there. So I think these guys are going to be pretty good for next week. AMD was looking good. We've been talking about AMD. I know Laptop Travel's daughter likes AMD. She's got a hell of a track record, and AMD is looking good. I actually have some AMDL calls right here, so they are up a little bit. I got them back a few days ago. I forget exactly the price, but it does look good. I know they're up just slightly, nothing crazy yet, but and it didn't even start curling up. So I do have some AMDL calls right there. So you can keep an eye on AMD. It is looking really good. And QCOM right here is looking pretty decent to try to cruise up some more. So keep your eye on that. And snow is coming down. So you got to keep an eye on that. It looks like it might have bottomed out right there. Let me see who's coming in the house. I don't even know. What the heck was that? Who was even outside? I have no idea. My daughter's up there, so I'm sure everything's fine. Anyway, my little guy's up there with my daughter. As a matter of fact, my daughter this weekend on Sunday, she has a jiu-jitsu tournament this weekend. So we'll be doing jiu-jitsu on. We usually do karate like almost all weekend anyway. They have classes on Saturday. Her class is not going to be Saturday because she has a tournament on Sunday. So yeah, she's competing in her first jiu-jitsu tournament on Sunday. So that should be pretty fun up in North Jersey. I'll tell you about that Sunday evening, as a matter of fact. I may even push the show back, or we're just going to skip it. We're going to actually do a special Zoom call together in the Discord. Ben, Laptop Travel, Rhett, Godfather, myself, and we're going to sit there and try to figure out the best stocks going into the new year and things of that nature. And we're going to record that, and then Ben's going to put that out there. So I'll keep you guys posted depending on how long our Zoom call is. That could be an hour or two, I'm sure. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted about Sunday. But so yeah, that's going to be Sunday night. We're going to do that. Or usually when we would start right at like 8 p.m. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I do the show at like 7 to 8. and we'll just do like a quick hour, and then I'll jump on. That's a good possibility too. So I may do that actually. So those of you that don't follow along or just tuning in, how are you guys? I usually hop on in Discord. We have a Discord, and we do a lot of live trading in there. The story trading one, my links up in my link and everything. But we do shows twice a day, pre-market at 7 a.m. and then we do an 8 p.m. show Sunday night through Thursday night, and that's what I was talking about Sunday night. But we're doing a special Zoom call and figuring out some stocks going forward with the story trading team. So maybe I'll do the Sunday show an hour early at 7 p.m. on Sunday. So I'll keep you guys posted. It depends on what time I guess I get back from the jiu-jitsu tournament, because that's all the way up in like North Jersey, not too far away, but I think it's near Luis Rodriguez. I have to ask him. I have to find out exactly where it's at first, and then I have to ask him where how far away he is. I'm just curious, to be honest with you. But yeah, so I'm gonna be up there doing that this weekend. But anyway, snow is coming down. It looks like it bottomed, guys. So you keep an eye on that. It's not looking too bad right there. Possibly for next week for a bounce, but you might want to just wait until next week since it's the weekend. PayPal looking pretty good. This is one that's going to be on the list. I know that because it is beaten down and it's starting to look pretty good right there. So PayPal, not bad. PYPL, keep an eye on that one. And then your Intel right here was been running up, and this thing's run up quite a bit actually since it was down here 33 up to 41, hitting a little resistance in the 44s right there. But looks like it wants to continue its way up for INTC. And how about your Dell right here coming back? And it was running up there pretty good, I must say. And we'll see what it wants to do next week. It just looks like it's stair-stepping, so not bad right there for Dell. And IBM right now, not looking too bad. Look at IBM. Looks like it wants to curl up there and get cruising. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on IBM. And how about your Palantir? Oh, that looks pretty good. Palantir looks way better than Sophie right now. I can tell you that. Sophie hit themselves yesterday with an offering. It was kind of bizarre. I didn't even think that they would have to do an offering, but they did an offering for whatever reason. It looks a little bit better. It never even came through the MACD, so maybe it does bounce back. Palantir looking pretty good right there for PLTR. So keep an eye on that going in the next week as well. Obviously, anything can happen over the weekend and into the Monday. That's why we're just going over, seeing how the market wants to look as it ends this week and on a Friday afternoon here. And then we'll see what's going on. Obviously, like I said, we'll probably do the show Sunday at 7 p.m. That way we can do our Zoom call at 8 p.m. So I'll just do a quick hour or something Sunday night, and I'll keep you guys posted on all that good stuff. And let's see what else is going on. That was Palantir and Sophie. And then, of course, we have our crypto mining ones, and Mara right here bouncing off that 20. They are pulling back a little bit. We'll go through crypto and see what that's up to. But first, Riot was sitting on the 20, and it still is right there. And CleanSpark was above it, and it is pulling back. It's not that far down, but it could pull back a little bit more right there. We'll have to take a look at crypto. It didn't look like it wanted to pull back that much, but we'll have to see. MicroStrategy's pulling back as well, and it could get turned around over the weekend, obviously, as well. And Robinhood pulling back here. Coinbase, another one doing a little bit of pullback. And, of course, Bull is following suit right there. But, again, they could change course real quick over the weekend, and then, they could be flying up there. So let's just take a look at Bull on here. Yeah, it's not looking bad at all. It's just kind of stair-stepping there for Bull. So we will keep an eye on that. That we got a bunch of calls and all kinds of stuff going on with Bull. And let's see what the rest of our list looks like. Space had been looking good. It's down a little bit today, but has been running up there and bellying up a little bit. And again, this thing is getting set up. It's going to run up a little bit more for you for BA. And DJT right here. This is one of Michael Anthony's favorites lately, and it's pulling back some. It had been looking really good, moving up to that 20, getting over it, and then today has some easy pullback. And again, it could just be a little easy Friday pullback, and then Monday they get popped up and running again. It could easily be the scenario, and that's why I'm not that concerned. And we're just kind of going through things. I don't know why I typed in space. I meant to type in like Nike, and I don't know what the heck I was doing. But anyway, here's Nike right here. Lulu was up, though. That was popping up. Remember, we were talking about Lulu, and bam, there you go. We were early to the party on Lulu, that's for sure. And let's see what else is going on with McDonald's. That one was back up, running up, not looking bad there for MCD. And Disney pulling back there. It's just got like a weird look now. I don't know if I'd actually mess with it at this point. Luis Rodriguez nailed that put call and or the short, whatever you want to call it, but he nailed that thing going down. That was a good call. And Oxy right here, OXY, just hanging out, not doing anything today. And ExxonMobil down, but I'll tell you which one was up a lot. That Boyle right there, look at that thing, up 8%. It was up like 10% a little bit ago. It was cruising along. Gush up a little bit, not as much as Boyle right there. And, we check out them guys. And there you go with that list. And DXYZ, this one's been looking good, a little bit of healthy pullback. It was running up this morning, hitting that trend line right there. Got a little over it, but obviously pulling back. Where's that line at? I can't even tell. It's right around there, like 27.56, something like that. So there you go with that bad boy. And that's that list right there. Let's go ahead and look at our crypto. It's a little red, and Bitcoin is under that 890. So not exactly the best look in what we wanted to see, but I did say it might pull back a little bit. I just didn't think it was going to be coming under the 20, but I'll be honest with you, that could be the bottom right there for the dip, and then it get moving right back up, because it looks like whenever you see this, you can see right there how it has a dip down, that dip down, that dip down, and now you can get moving back up and stay on your 20, slowly move up over the weekend, and then maybe Monday they really get blasting off. So we'll see. As I said, they're getting into a bullish channel. We'd be able to tell in the next few days, and they still look like they're doing it. I'm not going to lie. It hasn't broken it yet, so I'm definitely watching it. You guys know that. Ethereum right here coming back to the 20 as well. Not too bad. Solana coming down a little bit more, I must say, and it crossed through the 20. Look at that. Pulled back under, but it still has a lot of room over the MACD and still has that bullish channel right there. So it doesn't look terrible, even though it's pulled back a little bit more, it seems. And Ripple right there is kind of pulling back as well. And even Cardano right here, a little bit red. Obviously, the rest of them are going to be like Stellar and Optimism. But I'm still optimistic that these things are going to start getting cruising, especially Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Ripple right there. So, yeah, I think that you're still in a bullish trend right there. And I'll be keeping an eye on it and let you guys know if it kind of gets out of it. Let's put it that way. We'd have that pop up and then come back down. That's a weird look. I mean, it can do it. Don't get me wrong. You've seen it happen all the time here, but it just didn't look like it wanted to happen here. Obviously, we're watching it to see exactly what it wants to do, and I'll keep you guys posted, obviously. And we now Bitcoin going the other day on Monday, and I was very confident it was going over to 20 and looking good and getting into this bullish channel. I'm going to stick with it, and I did say it would run up and then have some healthy pullback, and that's exactly what it looks like. So I'd have to say what I said Sunday and Monday is definitely what happened. And so let's just stick with it and see. I think it still goes up there. So that's what your crypto looks like right there, David. No problem. So hope that helps with the crypto look. And let's see what else is going on over here. Let's go through our other list and see. I was curious about this BTGD because some of the gold was moving earlier, like JNUG and these things. They're pulled back a little bit now. They were cruising along earlier, as you can see. Look at that thing, was popped up like crazy. I swear a lot of times 10:15, 10:30 area is exactly where you like top out. I'd say between 10:15 and 10:45 a lot. And then you come back down and then it decides what it wants to do for the rest of the day. And that's like a lot of these things. I mean, I usually go by the SPY and the Qs looking at that. And you can kind of see the same situation. Look at her topped out at. And again, I should have known, just knowing that's the trend. I sold over here. I had the Q calls, and then it looked like it wanted to start pulling back. It did, but then it ran up pretty good. So I should have just waited a couple more minutes for that easy pullback and for it to start ripping again, and I would have been in really good shape. But oh well, all good. Well, that's the SPY. The Qs look the exact same, and it's they did pretty much the same thing. They ran up like that, and then, like I said, pulled back, and then got ripping there. So that was basically the same. And again, right around that time frame, you got your 10:15 area right there, 10:14. Look at that. What right before that, 10:12, and then all the way to like 10:40 area. 10:38, 10:35, and yeah, it's interesting. It does it a lot. You follow this pattern, and that's why I'm like, why did I just wait? I always know But then you see that pulling back. You're like, all right, maybe it's going to go red today. On a Friday, it's a little tough. And again, I was locking in some good profits. So they would have been way bigger for sure, but it's all good. Didn't want to take the risk on a Friday anyway. But that's what I was looking at. And let's see what else is going on with some of these other ones, ONDS and things like that. Galaxy's down pretty good today with Bitcoin pulling back and everything like that. But guess what? It looks really good there. Kodak ripping up. It was over 9 there for a little bit, and it did get popping right there around 1 o'clock. So that was looking really nice right there. How about that UMAC down a hair right there? Nothing too crazy. And ASTS still up a little bit today. It was pulled back a little bit and then started cruising there. So there you go with ASTS. And let me see what is going on. Who is I think my daughter's friends are like coming over and hanging out or something. I just keep seeing people pop up on the ring. And I'm in the house. I'm actually not out in the shed. I'm obviously in the studio in the basement, so I can hear what's going on up there, but nothing crazy. Anyway, it's not a big deal. And what was Capper? That was running around today as well. CAPR. Whoop, that's carp. I don't think we have a carp. We have a capper right here. And it was running around right there. But you know which one was absolutely bonkers today, guys. And you guys know what I'm going to say. This SMX. And I told you guys last night, look where it was last night. It was down here. And look at this thing. It ran up huge today. I mean, it was like crazy. It got up to over 4 something right there, like 4, what was it? 490s? I don't even know. It was like ridiculous up there today. 489. It was almost like $500. I know that. It's at 342 still, and it's still crazy looking. I mean, look at this thing. That's pretty wild. Your 20 and 50 are still meeting up. It's still in the top. It could still run. Obviously, you got to be careful with it now. But that was a great one from last night. And if you don't listen to the live shows at nighttime, you should, because I definitely told you guys at 4 a.m. be all over that thing. And that was a beauty right there. And that is SMX. And let's just see what else is going on in the market. TGL is Treasure Global. Look at that thing. Holy shit. I didn't even see that today. That thing went wicked. Oh, it had a split. We should have been watching that thing then. It reverse split today and then went 292%. I'm telling you, some of these splits are wild, especially when they're down in the basement right now. They've been running. We have to start seeking out all these splits. I didn't even see that was splitting today, to be honest with you. Ed Wheeler right here was running up. We recently looked at that. Gore. That GURE is that Gulf Resources. That was on one of our lists. And LICN right there. Lichen International running up. That's a China one. We've looked at that one a bunch of times. And TDIC not looking too bad right there. And PRAX, we were looking at that last night. So a couple good ones right there. Let's see what else is going on over here. If anything looks good that catches our attention, maybe that's going to run up. I'll even look and see what's earnings today real quick on StockTwits. I didn't even look, to be honest with you, but we'll check it out. That iRobot ran up. Laptop Travel, we were talking about that thing right there, iRobot. And if Laptop Travel did a whole article about that bad boy right there, if you were checking it out. ASST's been pulling back right there. And this is at TDIC. I was thinking it was TDOC, but that's not it. TDOC's TDOC. Big Bear just hanging out today, nothing crazy. And that Beyond, it's trying to set up, I don't know, plug up a little bit, nothing crazy today. And that ONDS, we were already talking about that. Let's see what else is happening over here. iTub, I don't know, that one's pulling back. It's looks like an ETF or something. And a BBD right there, but Banco one in Brazil, that one's pulling back pretty big right there. Let's see what the news stories look like. What is going on? Dow up over 100 points in final hour as S&P 500 targets 4th straight day of gains. Stocks hold on the gains as Fed countdown begins. And that's right, the Fed rate cut is going to be Wednesday. You guys can see that right there. And that's what it looks like. And I would say you're going to see a rate cut at 94%. So, yeah, we love our poly market. And remember, it crisscrossed up there. That was crazy. I was pretty baffled back then, but that's why, because look at it. And U.S. consumer spending slows in September as high prices curb demand. And S&P 500 eyes record as Fed favored inflation gauge cools. And stock market today, the Warner Brother rallies on Netflix deal and Paramount slips. So Paramount didn't like that news. What the heck is Paramount? I forget what the heck they are. What are they? Paramount Group or something right here. PG. Is this one it? Or is it Paramount? No, it's not that, right? It's got to be this one. I don't even know, guys. I'm not even sure which one is. That doesn't look it. I have no idea what Paramount is. Paramount is, to be honest. I don't even know which stock that is. But anyway, there you go. That's some news stories right there. Let's see what this says. This is pretty cool too. I think I was showing you guys the other day. But check out that daily digest and stocks edge higher on cooling inflation and rising rate cut hopes. Tech and Dow lead gains. They kind of write it like on my level where I can actually read one sentence and comprehend this. They write it for you like if you're like retarded like me. So it works out pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm in 5th grade. That's what they need to do, and it's perfect. I'm telling you. And as a viewed adult, though, I suffered a major brain injury 2 years ago, so my reading comprehension is pretty bad now. And so yeah, I need to have like one sentence and kind of easy, like S&P 500 approaches record highs as market sentiment improves. I understand that. That's pretty good. September PCE inflation data came in cooler than expected, boosting Fed rate cut expectations. Pretty easy to understand. Consumer sentiment rises, further supporting bullish outlook. Not too hard to figure that out. Dow and Nasdaq outperform with tech sector leading gains. Easy. Ultra Beauty was popping up there over 10% following strong holiday results. And financials advance as leveraged loan curbs are eased and media stocks trade mixed after the Netflix Warner Brothers deal. Small caps lag broader market. So there you go. Look at that. I can even understand them. I mean, that is great right there, guys. So if you ever need a little overview of the market each day, that Daily Digest is great. I mean, it is perfect. And that's a new bonus that FinViz just recently added. So there you go with that little cool thing right there. Let's see what else is going on right here. We looked at ONDS. It was down a little bit today. And Kodak right here still run up. Not looking bad. It's underneath the trend line, but still looks pretty good going into the weekend and into next week anyway. And that BMNR, that pulled back. If you didn't hear, I should have sold it yesterday, to be honest with you, but I did sell it this morning and it wasn't too bad. It did run up right there. And I forget where I sold. I might have sold it like in this area. It did run up a little bit more. Not a big deal right there. I was up on it, so it was perfectly fine. I'd have been down on it right now. I bet on that pullback. So that was the right choice. So you got to lock in those profits. I said yesterday, I think I'm making a mistake by not selling it, but the chart just looks so damn good yesterday. I mean, it was closing at the top and looking so good. I said I'll just take the risk, and it might be coming down, but it is what it is. And it did try to spike up there a little bit, like I said, but it's all good. And I was up on them call option, so got rid of them going into the weekend also. So there you go, a BMNR. Let's look at the Trump companies right here. Net capital way down there, and that PSQH was actually looking pretty good, just hanging out. But the interesting one, I must say, is of course ABTC. As Trump Jr. Tweeted out that like they were still acquiring Bitcoin, and I forget he said like one more position, and I guess they take over GameStop on how many people have like what treasuries have the most Bitcoin. I forget what the heck he even said, but something along them lines. And look at it down here at like 222. So it is way down there right there for ABTC. And your Pew right here is down a little bit as well. Not looking great. Obviously, crypto's down too at 89 for Bitcoin. Ethereum still at 30 or 3,000, I mean, and Solana back at 132 right there. So not a good look. Ethereum looks stronger than all of them, I would have to say, at the moment. And that's what they look like. But we'll see what happens as they go into the weekend. MOB was running up this morning, not looking bad there. And you can see that one was popping up. So that didn't look too bad. And what else? What else were we looking at there? That Capper was running up early this morning too. I actually said, you know, with the order I said, it was funny. I said Capper, MOB, and then Kodak in the afternoon. I'm not even kidding. That's exactly what I said in the Discord this morning. I kid you not. Look what Capper did. Capper ran first thing in the morning right there, right? You could have did that one. MOB it followed suit, but theirs was a tie right there. So you got that dip, and then you got MOB to run. So while you were running with Capper and selling it, MOB took a nice dip. You could have turned around, bought that, sold it at the high about 40 minutes later, not even 30 minutes later, right there. And then Kodak, guys, you know what that did right here. Look at that. Boom. And then bam. And we were even talking about it. And I mentioned it. We mentioned it. So there you go. And I would say that's the afternoon, right? Right after 12 o'clock, and smoked it. So literally exactly what I said this morning is exactly how they played out. It was pretty wild right there. So they were our top picks this morning in the Discord. So if you're not familiar, usually we're in on the Discord. That's why I hopped on here. I knew Ben couldn't hop on this afternoon, so I figured let me hop on the YouTube and show everybody. So yeah, we us two usually do the live trading, have a good time, and let everybody know what the market's looking like. And we were on this morning for a while, as a matter of fact. And yeah, we had Kodak and we loaded up on Kodak calls. As a matter of fact, we were talking all about it for a while. And then as soon as we got off, basically, it got lit up and running. So I would say that was a perfect call right there. I know a lot of people in the Discord made out well today, that's for sure. So good job with everybody on that. CMND right here. What is this Clear Mind Medicine? Did my thing just stop? Holy cow! I'm telling you guys, I think I just going to buy a new keyboard. This is a brand new keyboard. I just bought it because the other one, the you know how it has like the little nub things on your J and your F, so you know where the fingers are. Them things like wore off completely. I couldn't figure out where my fingers were on the keyboard. So I just got a brand new one, and it's every like, oh, now it's working. Holy cow! I swear to goodness, I every like couple like day or so, I have to unplug it out of the USB and plug it in. Luckily, it's pretty easy to get to. But anyway, it's working now. How are you, Janica and Zach? Everybody hanging out. What's Rocket looking like? That little pullback there, Zach, like we were talking about. And I think you will get crawled off the MACD and probably run up higher on the next rebound. So you'll probably, I don't know if you'll come all the way down to your 20 because Monday it'll run up a little bit higher, and then you'll start to get that curl off the MACD and get moving. So next week should look pretty good. Remember, there's a rate cut on Wednesday. So there's LDI right there, not looking too bad. And that house right here is down a little bit, but that had recently run up pretty big. So we'll see about that. And what about Path right here? That was on a crazy path, and it's been running up. I know Godfather was all over this one right there, and Silver was wild this morning too. Silver was running up like crazy. So I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was running up right there. Look at that, 78. Now it's back to 76. So on a Friday, it definitely pays to lock in those profits, David. And let's look at Fuel Cell. That's a good one to look at, up 5% and rolling. Haven't looked at Fuel Cell in a little while. They have earnings in the middle of the month, December 18th. Looking pretty good over the 50 right there. I got to add that to my setup list right here. And then I got to update my setup list this weekend because, like I said, we're going to do that Zoom call together on Sunday night to go over some things. But yeah, I'll have to go over some other ones and keep some setups on my list. Like I said, there's been some great ones we've been catching. And let's see what else. SMX, we did look at that, and Treasure Global, as a matter of fact. We were looking at both of them. Look at this thing. This one just split today and went absolutely bonkers right there, Janica. Holy cow. Look at that bad boy. TGL. We are familiar with it. Obviously, you didn't want to be in it before the reverse split right there. But after it split, it definitely ran up today, that's for sure. So you would have done very well if you'd caught that reverse split. And your SMX, let's see, is a crazy one, Janica. We were talking about this thing earlier, and it was almost at 500. If it didn't reach 500, I forget. Did it get there? It was damn close. I know that. I'm not sure, but now you're at 341. It still does not look bad in the top, but I would be very careful going in over the weekend. You know that thing could dip down on Monday morning with no problem, even though that 20 and 50 are trying to meet up right there with your 20 curling up on it. That's usually a great look, but you still have to be careful over a weekend. Who the hell knows? Something could come out. Some short company could write an article about this thing that could be completely false and make it go down 143%. So definitely be careful. But we did call it last night in the on the live show, guys. I literally said at 4 a.m., make sure you're looking at this thing. because it's going to be popping up there tomorrow. And it certainly did right there. So look, if you've gotten in at any time right before 7, it started to move. So there you go. And then it even pulled back a little bit and then got rolling as the market opened, pulled back a little more, now up a little bit there. So there's your SMX detail right there. And let's see. And then that Treasure Global, like I said, was going crazy. Bull right there, just pulling back with Bitcoin, I would say, to be completely honest with you. Not looking bad. It's just pulling back. Bitcoin's pulling down. It's under 90 right now. So that one is pulling back. And I do think Bitcoin's still in your bullish channel. We were talking about all these, and that could just be your pullback right there. And then it tries to get moving up a little more. Over the weekend, it's still on your 20. Not looking terrible right there. Almost kind of it's hard for me to see, but it almost makes your line right there kind of a little odd, a little off, but it should be more like, I guess it couldn't be really over. It should be more over that way. But anyway, not a big deal. If it goes like that, it will just set up. It might set off of this one, to be completely honest with you. That could, even though that's your bottom, it could trend off of this one right here. Even though that's your bottom, I've seen that happen many times before. Bitcoin does like its own thing. So yeah, I do think Bitcoin and crypto still looks pretty good, even with that pullback. And again, guys, on Monday, I literally said in the morning, I was confident it was going through the 20 and holding, right? And we're still over the 20 and still holding right there. Here's Friday. And I did say it'd run up and also pull back. So exactly what I was saying, but no, it does still look like it wants to stay in that bullish trend right there. So I think we're in good shape. It's doing exactly like I was saying and what it looked like it wanted to do. And again, I kind of already saw this playing out. Did I see that candle run up that big on Monday? No, I thought it was going to be a 2-dayer, to be honest with you, but I was very confident it was getting over that. That's for sure. And but I knew it was getting over and basically setting up right around here, to be completely honest with you. You could see it on the chart. And again, you could tell it was going to get in that bullish channel right there. So I could see how it was going to set up. And remember, I was kind of going over with you guys before it even got running there on Monday. So Sunday night, we were looking at it and I was talking about this scenario. So there you go with that. And that is your Bitcoin AIP. That one was looking good, running up some more. That was a really good one. And Google, like I said, is looking good. I think it does want to get back in the top right there and looks good. What about your Duolingo trying to get out of the basement? Oh, yeah, look at that. Trying to run up DOUL. That looks pretty good for next week. Luis Rodriguez, right? Real nice right there. So I do like that one. Let's see what else is going on here. And it's 3:58. So if you have anything to close out before the weekend, you do have 2 minutes left. So just giving you a quick heads up right there. I wanted to look at the earnings and just see which ones we had going in. I'm not going to play any today. I had a pretty damn good day, I have to say, in the first like 2 minutes of the day. It was pretty crazy. I could have held the queues a little longer. They looked like they wanted to get pumping there first thing in the morning. I don't know why, but they're just going in on that 20, you could see. So I jumped in immediately when the market opened. I already had it set, market thing. Boom, I hit it. And then it just popped right up completely right there. And I was way up, guys. So I hit the sell button. And I did sell right around at the top, right on this lift, but then it pulled back there. I should have got some more calls. Actually, I said I should have shortened it down. I could have went right down to that and then bought some more calls and went up, but it's all good. And it did play out perfect for me. So I'm happy with that one. There's the Q call right there. Anyway, so here we go. Let's see what else is going on here. And oh yeah, I was going to look and see what the earnings were going to be. That's what I was going to do. I forgot what I was doing. How many times I forget about the earnings? I go to do it every day and I totally forget nonstop. It's great. I'm not used to earnings or anything. So it's how many? Oh, there's only a couple of them. We'll just go through each one real quick. How's Kodak looking, Robin? Are you in that bad boy this morning with the Discord crew? Because it's at 880. It still looks strong going into the weekend. It did have that pop up, got over that support line, which shows you it could break it. And it still does look good with your 20 rolling up. I think you get into the top next weekend, to be honest with you. That's what it looks like, unless some crazy news came out over the weekend. But it does look pretty strong to me. And it did obviously run up this afternoon, right there. Boom, right at noontime. And so, yeah, how about them calls this morning, Robin? I said Capper first, Mobility second, and then Kodak in the afternoon. You couldn't have gotten it any more closer and accurate than that. I mean, it was kind of crazy. Capper right off the bat, right there, bam, smashed it right out the park. And then Mobility, like I said, we went through it already. But then Mobility, while you were playing Capper, Mobility ran up, pulled back. That was a perfect entry right there. And then it ran up to its top right there. By like 11:45, you get out. And then the next thing you know, setting up was Kodak for the afternoon, and just go to it right around 10:45, 11 right there. Look at these prices, and then bam, right there. So how'd that look for you, Robin, in the Discord this morning? I bet that was pretty cool. Played out exactly. I mean, we are pretty accurate. Ben's real accurate too. I mean, he picked the top 3 picks. I just picked them in my order. And again, like I said, I just knew that Capper was running first. It already had momentum. It was moving. I could tell by the chart that it was going. So it was pretty easy for me to just say, Capper is going to go first, and then Mobility, and then Kodak was just setting up for the afternoon. You could just tell off the charts what it was going to do. And but yeah, they were really nice ones right there. So pretty good stuff. Symbiotic, didn't that end up kind of bouncing around today as well? It did run up too. Look at this thing, nice dip, and then ran up. It did pull back a little bit there, but that did run up as well. Hims, Lulu is looking really good, that's for sure. Lulu got rolling today, and that was up like $6. I can't type it in, I don't know why, but yeah, there you go. At Lulu, we were so early on this thing. Remember, guys, we were back here on these days right here is when we were talking about it on this trend. So and there you go. We were nice and early for Lulu in the 170s. It's in the 190s right now. So there you go with that one. Adobe and CRM was really good. Salesforce, that got cruising today as well, and still looks pretty healthy. And Adobe did look pretty good today too. I know that. You know what else looked good? Oracle. What was that up to? What it do after it? This one was been running up here, not looking bad. Oracle, yeah, it was running up there this morning. I saw it pull back and started running up a little bit more, but Oracle's way down here and has some room, so definitely keep an eye on that one as well. And let's just go through and see. Oh, we were going to look at the earnings. Holy cow, am I the worst with my getting sidetracked? Here, we'll go through. I'll tell you all the earnings, and this is just based off of StockTwits. I'm not sure if they really do or not. IMPP, I don't see the E right there, so I'm not sure. Sometimes that one pops on here, and doesn't really have earnings. UXIN, I don't see their E either, so I'm not sure if these companies actually do have earnings today. And like I said, I'm just going based off of StockTwits. MNY right here, they did have earnings already. It looks like they already reported, so that one already did have them. TBHC, not familiar with that. Brand House Collective or something. Lately, it hasn't been showing the earnings ahead of time. Maybe I click something off or something. I have no idea, but usually they show you when their earnings are going to be ahead. And but TBHC, I'm not sure what that one's up to right there. We do know this one, Freight Technologies or something, and it says that this one has earnings. This is interesting that none of these even have an E anywhere near it. And am I in like the wrong thing? I hate when I hit that stupid thing. What the heck? I don't know why that happens. But anyway, yeah, you get into this. Maybe because I'm in that draw thing. I don't like to be in that. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see here. Freight. Yeah, that doesn't say it either. That's interesting. None of these say it. Do you guys know if any of these companies even have earnings? Because I have no idea. MANU. This one, not sure either. Yeah, that's weird, guys. Usually they do have E's there, so I don't know what's going on. This one had it. Victoria's Secret. There you go. I always forget that this is VSCO. But look at Victoria's Secret. That did run up, not too crazy. There is results ahead of guidance and raised full year outlook. Net sales point plus 9%. To 1.47 billion. So interesting there for Victoria's Secret. And let's take a tour of this one right here, TOUR. And it looks like they did have earnings. I have no idea what that gray E means, though. And let's see, PPIH. I have no idea what Perma Pipe International is, and not sure if they even have earnings either. Gauze, I think we know this one, GAUZ. I'm pretty sure we're familiar with this one. If I typed it in correctly, you would see it. Gauzy Ltd. Yeah, Israel. We definitely know this one right here. And that one doesn't look bad. Again, I have no idea if any of these have earnings because it usually has an E next to them, and none of these even have an E. So that's all I had for stock twits right there. So nothing big and nothing that you'd probably even worry about. The only one I really know well is that Freight FRGT, and nothing that I'd be concerned about. And that GAUZ, we're familiar with that one as well. So yeah, nothing real crazy right there that I would be talking about or worrying about for earnings. So don't waste your time there. Garmin was up a little bit more today, looking pretty good right there. So there you go, everybody. I would say that's what your market looked like on our Friday. Ending the video down, we'll go through our Mag 7, our SPYs, everybody, real quick, see how they ended and what they look like going into the after hours. There's your SPY right there. It did end up pretty green today, and not too bad going into the next week. Look at that look right there. That's a pretty wild look going into the Friday. How about our Qs? Let's see that look. Probably that's pretty weird look too. I'm not going to lie, but it does look like it wants to try to push itself up a little bit. You can see they're up a little there, trying to run up a tiny bit in the after hours. Nothing real quick, nothing real crazy. And our IWM right here had been pulling back there today, ran up in the beginning and big pullback right there. So there you go at IWM. Not too bad for your pullback, though. Could be just a little bit healthy. It doesn't look that crazy, especially going in over the weekend. So that's how they look to close. SPY right there, or Apple right here is what I meant to type in, was down a little bit. I was like, how do I get on the SPY? Amazon, I typed it in. And Amazon right here down to the 50. But Amazon not looking bad, guys. I have to say, it has them couple down days right there. But Amazon next week could get crawled right back up and be looking good. Google's looking good. I think Google could get fired up next week and run into the top. Meta was looking good again. So that could also push them up. And even Microsoft looks really good right here, trying to bounce off that trend line. I could see Microsoft popping Monday morning, guys, to be completely honest with you. Keep an eye on that one. And there is your NVIDIA right here. And it doesn't even look bad. A little bit of pullback, and you're sitting on your trend line, and you're curling up right there, and it wants to go through. So NVIDIA doesn't even look bad right there. And how about Tesla was just kind of hanging out today. We'll see what it wants to do. But there's your Mag 7 right there. And there you go. That's what they look like. Let's see what our crypto. Bitcoin is still under 90,000 at 89.3 at the moment. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And again, it's nothing out of the ordinary. I didn't expect it to run up as fast Monday, but it did matter. It did 2 days at one time, which is perfectly fine because the rest of the days did exactly what they needed to do and maintain a little pullback to that 20 right there. And as long as it pulls itself back up today, when it changes over, whatever time it is, I thought it was like 7, 8 o'clock. It seemed like it was at like 10 o'clock the other night or last night. But anyway, I'm not exactly sure. I guess maybe the time change too might make a difference. I have no idea. But when the new day comes, it should start back up over to 20 and kind of work its way back up. And again, you'll stay in your bullish channel. It's what it looks like it wants to do right there. And we did go through all the other crypto ones, and they're not looking bad, touching the 20. We know they could bounce right off. TGL right there, this went bonkers. I don't know what the hell they did besides reverse split a 1 for 20, and then it decided to get crazy. So we got to keep our eyes on these reverse splits that are in the basement. Remember, we were talking about it the other day, and these things can just get popping there for no reason. So interesting right there. I think something just cut off. Something was weird. But anyway, there you go, everybody. I would say that is what the market looks like this Friday afternoon. So thanks for tuning in, and everybody. And like I said, we're usually in the Discord doing this live and checking out earnings and everything else, doing the live trading and having a good old time. But today I hopped on the YouTube. Ben couldn't hop on this afternoon, so I figured I'd give you guys all a little bonus right there. So you guys enjoy your weekend, and all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. Luis Rodriguez and Robin and Zach and Janica and David and everybody else hanging out there, I greatly appreciate it. You guys know that. So you guys, like I said, enjoy your Friday evening. Enjoy your weekend here, 20 days till Christmas. So you better get out there and do some Christmas shopping as well. And I will catch you guys. I'll keep you guys posted about Sunday night. We are having a Zoom meeting. Zoom meeting. It sounded like I said go to the zoo or something. Zoom meeting between us Discorders and just figuring out the best stocks for you guys going into the new year and going into the January effect. So we're going to do that at 8 p.m. So I may hop on my show at 7 p.m. I'll keep you guys posted. Luis Rodriguez, I'll hit you up. I'll be up in North Jersey. I don't think you were on at the beginning. I was telling you guys I'll be up there Sunday, pretty much all afternoon. My daughter's in her first jiu-jitsu tournament there, so she's doing a jiu-jitsu tournament up in North Jersey Sunday, so I'll be up there. So depending on what time we get back, I don't think it'll be too late, but anyway, I'll keep you guys posted, and maybe I'll do the show at 7 p.m. and let you guys know. So yeah, I'll find out where you're at, Luis Rodriguez, and tell you where I'm going to be. I think I'm going to be pretty close to you. I'm not exactly sure though. But anyway, Janica, you have a great weekend. And there you go. Nice treat. Oh, Luis Rodriguez was just on his way home. Nice treat heading home there. Saw me on here jibber jabbering and doing our thing. So yeah, that's our Friday afternoon right there. And again, if you ever have any questions, hit me up on the Discord hit me up on X, send me a DM. And if you have any questions about Discord, like I said, we do a lot of live trading in there and check everything out. So we will be on there on a regular basis, and Fridays maybe I'll hop on the YouTube in the afternoon because I know Ben can't go on in Friday afternoons. But usually at this time, guys, we're in the Discord covering right now the news alerts. Ben's great with it. He gets the news feed, and then he looks at the ERs, and he can read it real quick. It's pretty wild. I've never seen anything like it, to be completely honest with you. I base everything off the chart and can get them pretty accurate. But again, I don't like earnings, but he knows when these things beat top and bottom and their projections are good, these things go flying. I mean, every single time. It's pretty crazy. I've never seen anything like it because I don't even play earnings, but it is a lot of fun. And we hop on around like 3 o'clock or so and do some live trading there at the end of the day, market and getting set up for the next day. So there you go. Luis Rodriguez doing a 3K run early in the morning, but there you go. Have fun with that, Luis Rodriguez. It's going to be pretty cold. You better dress pretty warm for that. But I guess if you're running, you'll warm up pretty quick. That's for sure. And David, you have a good weekend also. And there you go, everybody. So thanks again for tuning in. That's what our market looked like to end the week. And Bitcoin's down at 89.4 at the moment. So we'll see what it wants to do. Again, I think it's perfectly fine. I'll keep you guys updated with that. And Sunday evening. So there you are, everybody. So enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch you guys Sunday night. Have a good day, everybody.